here. It's going to be Copenhagen Wolves on the CT side of things. Since there was the map pick of Dignitas, they'll be relegated over to that T side to start things off.
Here we're going to see some quick B aggression for Dignitas, but it looks like it's just going to be trying to set up what's going to be an A split ultimately. So let's see what Pim can do here from Underpass. He's going to be exploding out now, trying to find a CT anywhere, and he's going to get punished for it.
Yeah, Twist and Zendo already finding kills here. Kirby trying to get his team on the board, but is taken out by Yakum. That leaves only Nico and MSL. But MSL, we switch over to him as he plants the bomb. So, you know, even though they're getting shut out, they might not even find a kill here. Or Nico maybe giving them an opportunity. But with no armor, fighting that aim punch, can't do anything. And, you know, even though everyone died and no one got a kill, they planted the bomb. So not a bad first pistol round for the terrorists.
No, definitely not. I was prepared to be way more negative about that pistol round than what turned out because of that bomb plant. But good work by Copenhagen. Man, wow.
You're gonna just call them the Wolves, please, because I never want to hear it said like that again.
Man, I'm terribly sorry for my being an unbelievably Westerner. So the Wolves, I just shut things down immediately with that mid-aggression pushing up, and I thought for a second that Pim might be able to get out and punish them a little bit for that overextension, but it seemed like they had enough pressure there in the middle just to shut things down before the Dignitas players could even get out and make a play happen. So good on them just breaking that round down early with that aggression. The A-take is going to be on, and Rubino just chopping them down with Silence M4.
Chopping them very silently. Imagine if George Washington had a silenced M4, he could have chopped down that cherry tree and no one would have even known.
Hey, I said I was the Westerner. I don't think you need to make those Westerner deep cut references now. I think you could leave those to me.
Sometimes I forget I cast European Counter-Strike and just no one is going to understand that. And that was a horrible joke anyways.
It was.
It was actually
it was
pretty amazing. That makes it good though. So rifle round coming up already since that bomb went down in the first round for Dignitas. 4 AKs and a Galil, some armor, and some nades. But look at Rubino striking from connector. Does get one. The trade, though, for MSL. Zevez, though, aggressive off of the catwalk. With that, Famas gets another, so that'll make a 4-on-3 situation.
Yeah, Twisted dumped his Famas clip really early on there and put himself in a position where he couldn't support Rubino when he needed it. But still, things worked out well enough. Rubino able to go 1-for-1, and Zevez coming in for a return frag as well. So 4-on-3, bomb down, Nico about to recover it. Trying to come up with a plan here in mid as they're pretty surrounded by the Wolves here.
Not that scary. Surrounded by Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, if I heard that, I would be pretty frightened. And Pop Flash coming out.
Wow, what a flash!
Yeah, almost punish Nico there, but he's still holding his ground and actually getting some damage off himself. So staying competitive in this round as Twisted is getting ready to peek window where he was.
Yeah, so they still have that man advantage. The time is, of course, ticking away. Dignitas. Where's that bomb actually down yet? And why are those sounds not muted? I can't figure out Windows 10. Sorry for those alerts. But that's Copenhagen Wolves just wrapping up that very first rifle round here.
Yeah, huge rifle round for them to win. And, yeah, I was a little concerned early on when Dignitas picked this map, not because they didn't have a stellar track record on this map, but Copenhagen Wolves themselves have some slayers on their team, and you get them going early, and you can get punished for it. We'll actually be seeing Twist buying an MP9 here, and I assume dropping lower with that.
I would have expected it from Yakum.
Oh, man, he's actually just going to be playing mid straight up with it, but knowing they've controlled Dignitas' economy here, he's able to comfortably buy that gun. Still playing rangy positions with it, though.
Oh, Zevez going to spray down 2 through the smoke. Maybe a bit of a gap there, and, you know, you got the pistols pretty much 80 times out of 100, you're going to go towards B with it, and the Wolves are just completely expecting that.
Definitely. That's, you know, one of the positions on this map where you kind of just have a chance to just get out there and frag and catch a Van player off guard, but Copenhagen Wolves blowing things up once again before they have a chance to even develop, really reminiscent of that initial pistol round. Just getting the aggression early. Last round, it wasn't some straight-up aggression. It was more so spam through smoke that gave them the information early on, but still capitalizing off of it. Zendi going to be forcing a terrorist away from the T-stairs as there's a lot of A presence coming out of the CT. It's probably going to inform a rotate away, and that's exactly what Yakum was going to do, but he's actually going to be doubling back and hanging out by CT a little bit.
Yeah, and as a result of that heavy A presence here from the Wolves, that allowed Dignitas to take pretty much full mid-map control right now. They got one player on each extremity, one watching A, one watching B, so I mean, they're pretty much spread out into their default. It seems like with the smokes down and with the way people are creeping up the catwalk, they want to go for that B split, which is going to work out fantastic. As actually, can't quite tell from the minimap if that bomb is... I'm going to take over from Kevin for a second. Okay, bomb's in the ladder room, so it did actually get up to the catwalk. MSL will be spotted and actually kills CEVO. Nico hits the shot onto Twist. Dignitas look like they might be finally getting that first round on the board, coming in their second shot at a rifle round.
Yeah, they're going to be working their way into an empty bomb site, so they're going to be peeking corners diligently, but they really don't need to. They can just go in there and get it planted. So as soon as they figure that out, I'm sure they will. It's going to be a lot of pressure here onto AZ to pick up a lot of frags onto the what will be the saving Wolves here. He's certainly the closest player here. Question is, will we be able to spot out Yakum over there in CT? I'm not sure if he's going to find Rubino or Zendi. Either way, Yakum staying patient, hanging around CT, not overextending too much. I think he is not aware that there's a player there necessarily, but at least aware that there could be a player in the area. So just playing it safe, not overextending.
Yeah, no one looking to die here is checking out the money of these guys. If my cameraman would close the mini-map so I could press tab. These are online struggles because we've got delay between ourselves and the cameraman. It's really funny, actually. But I'm assuming the money for the CTs is going to be... It's actually in a fantastic spot, 4 rounds in a row. And even though they lost that one, they saved 3 rifles. So you'll see a lot of teams, even at the highest level, they won't do that. They won't save. They'll like a 3v5. Yeah, let's try to retake. They lose 1, then they're saving, oh, let's save 2 guns, and then someone else dies. And at the end of the day, they decided to save, but they only saved 1. So they just go for it very early. They're being very economic with their decisions, and that's going to work out for a Strug CT half. But Dignitas are finally tasting blood. And that can maybe get dangerous.
They just have to make sure they don't get punished now that they've won a round. But because they kept all 5 players alive, their economy has been put in a decent position. AZ going to get hit down to 10 HP by Rubino, so I'm going to bully him back into underpass while the rest of his teammates are going to be trying to find picks spread out across the map, mostly focused on mid. Last time they smoked the mid window, they were able to get a lot of map control here around the A connector. And the last round, they were more than happy to just bide their time until they found the opening picks. They found 2 frags essentially at the same time, and then the round broke down from there. Wolves had no chance.
Dignitas really loves this smoke that they throw that, oh, that took me over to B, that I wanted to show, that cuts off the top of the connector so that you can't sneak in and see through it. And it allows them to clear out the connector, make sure no one's in it, but then it completely covers if they try to go up cat. And they've thrown the smoke already on this round twice. They've got one where they can throw it from top mid, and they really love to use that to control middle and work up that catwalk. Or, you know, do whatever they want to do. And MSL actually will get caught out over there in the window room. Twist, it's an op shot there from CT spawn. And that's a 5-on-3 right now with the CTs once again holding fast. Zenda probably could have got 2 right there. It's pretty much done it. This last player is pretty low. Pimped down to 26 HP. And yeah, Zenda on the assist. Rubino to close off the round with, I think he got a 2K there. He got 3 actually on the round.
Good on him. And Dignitas has been really successful slowing things down in the mid round, just hanging around mid, just biding their time to find picks. And I think the Wolves responded really nicely. They're playing a bit more passively than they had been previously, including even a player that was playing window, hopping outside of the vent and playing it from the CT spawn. Just one more off angle for to keep Dignitas guessing a little bit and unable to find frags without extending too far into positions where they can't be traded off. So good on the Wolves for responding properly to what worked on that one Dignitas win. They're going to be really financially invested in this round, they being Dignitas here. So they need a round win here big time. And even Nico doesn't have a rifle on the round.
Well, Tech 9, but...
Yeah, right. Might as well be a rifle.
might as well. It's better, literally better than a Galil. And that's AZ once again using that smoke to try to clear out the connector. It fails to do so. The trade was there, but Dignitas are getting the upper hand on this round. Yakum from the ladder does surprise MSL. He's going to see that nade, realize the player's out towards middle, and try to reposition himself. Nico, probably hearing that vent break, is fully expecting someone to peek out of this window, but the flashes are there. They're not quite good enough to blind Nico, so Yakum will fall to that. And now CEVO, yeah, trying to work his way through that B's site. He gets flanked there by Pimp.
Yeah, so Dignitas picking up a really clutch round there, and once again able to save a bunch of guns for their trouble. Catching picks all over the place in mid early on. Good trade frags from them, just setting themselves up so well and not being forced into what was overextending for frags like they were on that last round, just round 6. So these teams adjusting very well off of each other. And Pimp on that round, so close to picking up a huge flank, was probably 1 to 2 seconds or maybe 5 seconds, a little too late there. His teammates had already done the damage, but really good positioning and awareness from him getting around the CTs.
CEVO and Rubino. Sometimes it can be very dangerous to peek this when the terrorists are patient and wait, but CEVO with the spray down, gonna find them too. Nice control there to land that headshot onto MSL after the fact, and they double peeked it. They both, you know, are a little bruised and battered, but they're both alive, and you'll take that trade any day.
Definitely any day. Nico now going to be put in a tough position where he's going to need to find a frag with this op for his team to work off of it. Yerby also going to be following up to...
I thought you just said BRB. I was like, okay.
No. Yeah, see ya.
See
Catch
ya.
you later. You know, he's just going to be squatting up with his opper, making sure the bomb doesn't get killed alone. That's going to be a bunch of players over there grouped over towards B now. But Rubino and his teammate, Yakum, going to be in a good position to hold this off. But not a bad smoke. Could allow them to cross here.
Yeah, as we pan across the B site, Yakum, you can see he's behind that column. All the player on Cat was Rubino. He gets taken out. Yakum going to fall as well. Dignitas are bringing this back from a 3-on-5. Again, going to be man disadvantage as Zenda rotating over into the market. Does find a kill onto Caribbean. Nico, however, getting that bomb down and giving Dignitas a chance on this round. They're going to have to defend for, well, pretty much forever with their lives here. Can they do it? CTs have plenty of time to retake this. Zenda even has a kit. And now it is Nico. I have seen him clutch these 1v3s, only to die in a Molotov. But he won't even get to that point. He goes right, and he goes down first to CEVO.
So that's going to be the Wolves back on the board, doing a decent job of controlling the economy of Dignitas. I'm sure that's going to put their eco all over the place and really not allow anyone to buy up super comfortably except for Pimp and MSL. And if this was North America, I feel like this would be a buy round, right? Like 2 players that could buy, everyone else force up,
or an
Armor
envious
and Tech
match.
9s. Yeah, I guess. I totally forgot about that. But, yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing that so much here from Dignitas.
Or an E-frag match.
Yeah, they known for the force buy. They
don't know how to save money.
Yeah.
They didn't have piggy banks as kids growing up. They're like, nah, we're buying everything. I'm getting that ice cream right now. I'm not saving.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes teams can get away with that, but I think at this level and against a team like Dignitas, it's going to take a little bit more than just Tech 9s and armor. But so far, so good. It's working for them until Yakum just absolutely shuts the club down.
Shuts the club down. Yeah, it's past 2 in the morning. Get the hell out. Trying to go home.
No, the terrorists were trying to boogie their way through their smoke, but
he got a triple kill with the M4A1S. Generally, you know, you're finding only 2 kills with that gun. He's able to find 3, then pulls out his Silence USP, gets another before he finally falls.
So Wolves back on top once again, picking up rounds left and right, and that's going to put Dignitas on a buy round, but a buy round where they're not going to be able to afford an op. So Twist going to be taking a more offensive position here with his, knowing he's not going to get into a straight-up op duel, but he may get punished here by AZ with that rifle in his hand, who could so easily peek around this smoke. But it's going to be MSL who gets the job done instead.
All right, so 4-on-4 situation, fairly even right now. Rubino spamming through that smoke quite a bit, you know, not giving off any tracers, so kind of hard to fight back there from Dignitas' perspective. They took a lot of damage. AZ went down to 9 from that spam. Well, while that player will fall, he did still drop that Molotov. Yakum and CEVO now capitalizing on maybe some of this confusion. Pimp pulls out the fire extinguisher. He's trying to make that a bit of a one-way, but Yakum is there. 4 kills. You know what they say? They hate him because they Yakum.
They do say that. They have been known to say that.
People have said that.
Yeah, people have said that before, and that is the thing that has happened. But Dignitas, once again, cheating their way over towards the B bomb site. They're, so far in this game, showing more or less disinterest in just taking the A bomb site straight up. I think they tried it on one of their pistol rounds, I think round 2 after coming off of the pistol loss. But for the most part, it's been cat, it's been mid, it's been a lot of this early aggression from them trying to just force the issue. But this round, it's going to be Twisted and featuring Rubino 4K. There. This picks up a huge 4K. I mean, you're talking about a 3K.
What's the track name? What's the track name?
Heavy Frags.
I'm sold. That's going certified triple plat.
Definitely. I think
music kit hidden Valve stores next week.
Yeah, right. But it was just a feature. It was just a small feature from Rubino because that track definitely was just
it was mainly Twist. The hook was killer.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it. And once again, Dignitas wasting no time to take some control of B. CEVO-P and Yakem going to be caught off guard here and go 2 for 1 there. Luckily,
wow,
Zendi
the refragging right here is crazy
well.
from both of these teams.
Yeah, and super crucial there from the Wolves. The round could have just exploded with that 1 for 2 in the underpass area, but the fact that they're able to battle back and bring it back to a 3-on-3 in which the terrorists are spread out all over the map and not really in places where they can be traded off of, this is one where they could still come out on top.
Yeah, that last kill there actually from the Wolves, I think that was Zenda that got it. That one was pretty crucial because that would have left Dignitas with the 4-on-3. They would have had the man advantage. Instead, it's even, and now Zenda's going to find another. So 2 massive impact frags on the round. Rubino to get one, and everything falling apart for Dignitas. And this is crazy, man. I was expecting Copenhagen to be able to fight back, but I was not expecting them to just straight up dominate Dignitas, a team that already in the Pro League at 16 owed someone on this map. Granted, it was Infinity, but Infinity, lesser-known team, do generally play well against, the top dogs, and they did even in the second map. But I mean, this is Dignitas' home turf right here, and Copenhagen Wolves are just disrespecting that, man.
Yeah, but Nico does have a read on the... Oh, man, so blind. Great flash from his teammate there to get it done. That's going to be an easy defuse on a round that was not looking so easy earlier on, as you were saying. I'm not exactly sold that this is what we're going to see is a Wolves blowout here. I think once we do switch the other side of the ball, I think we're going to see Dignitas battling back a little bit, but definitely not too surprised with the results so far. I mean, the Wolves have some really strong players. They were able to shut down Dignitas early, get the momentum going, and punish them really at every opportunity they were given. So I'm really impressed with their play, but they have some really, really strong players. So I'm not exactly... I feel like I haven't seen an individual engagement where I was too shocked. I feel like no one's done anything that was crazy or out of control. It's just been controlled Counter-Strike where they've been just getting their job. They've been in the right places at the right time constantly.
Oh my gosh, Rubino, he sees that smoke go down. They're starting to project that they're going for the A take. He decides to push the smoke into A ramp, finds a couple frags, leaves the Wolves with the man advantage. AZ, though, trading it out. And Zenda, being sneaky beaky, like up on top of the porch, will find Pimp. That leaves AZ all by himself. He's got a double kill. But does he have the dream? He's got to win the 1v2 with only 28 HP, and he can't even do that. One shot from Twist, 1 kill, and another round. That's 11-2 here.
Huge score differential between these two teams, but in terms of interesting gameplay, that was a round where Dignitas showed some interest in the A bomb site. They never exactly got out on the site to execute much of anything, but at the very least, they're showing a bit of a, well, what would be a more diverse playbook if they could actually run a play out there. I'm not exactly sure if they were prepared for the smoke push coming out from the counter-terrorists flying over there.
This catwalk smoke that, is so common for teams to throw to work the top of mid has kind of been falling flat for Dignitas. They keep running right behind it, greeted by nades and spray downs. That's how Twist got the triple kill one round. On this round, it was, I think it was Rubino or maybe even Yakem that threw that nade, lit him up. Rubino sprays him down. Only Pimp left once again, 12-2. I know Copenhagen, they took pretty much the cream of the crop from both LGB and Property. I was extremely excited to see this team come together. Unfortunately, the last time we were going to cast them, my internet went out. So that wasn't even broadcast, which was unfortunate. But they look unstoppable. They look really good. This is a team I would watch out for. This is a team that has potential to finish top 3 and qualify for the Season 8 LAN in November.
Absolutely, especially if they're beating the brakes off of a team like Dignitas so far. I still think we haven't seen the last of Dignitas so far in this map, and certainly not the last of them on the series. But, when you're coming into a game as, like a 70-30 Go Lounge odd team, the Faithometer, it's picking up one map there is huge. And these are, I think, maps that I was talking about before, how Dignitas was doing a good job of closing them out, winning 2-0 and securing all the points that they can. But not so much here. Twist now in a precarious position. You're going to hit a quick no-scope, drop the bomb, and spam with the deagle through the smoke. Unable to kill Nico there. And it seems like this is where the round is going to spiral completely out of control for them. CEVO-P's last man standing in jungle. Still does have the bomb. That's one frag. Get away, and he does. It's now one-on-one.
This is such an important round for Dignitas. Losing a half 13-2 is, 98% of the time you've lost the map at that point. Kirby's going to try to plant the bomb. CEVO-P says move around to CT spawn. I think he tries to throw that flash to make noise at... Yeah, that worked perfectly. He throws it back towards the window room. That flashed nobody, clearly, but the sound made Kirby look over towards the connector jungle area, and CEVO-P Just shoots him in the side. Easiest clutch of his life, 13-2.
Oh man, I mean that one looked lucky towards the end, but easiest clutch of his life. That is that is a dagger for Dignitas right there. Just tough way to lose that round, but he really played that to a T, including his teammate Twist, who was in, as I said, a really precarious position. Hit a quick no scope to get one frag, get things going early, and it was the last round, so there's no reason to not go for it. So really well played by those last two counter terrorists, and now 3 rounds away from a win. They're essentially 1 pistol round away from locking this up 16-2. But you know, I've said it the past like 3 rounds. I just don't see Dignitas rolling over and dying. I mean, these pistol rounds are when it gets as 50-50 as possible. I think a team like Dignitas can even skew a 50-50 in their favor.
I think they'll probably make a slight comeback, but I've got full faith in Copenhagen closing out this first map. And I just want to point out, mainly because of just how clean the number looks, AZ, the star player, has an efficacy of 1.111. That is abysmally low and extremely shocking for a player of that caliber. Can they make the comeback, though? Can they redeem themselves here on Mirage, or will it have to wait for map number 2, which is Overpass?
I'm curious what strategy they're going to take early on in this position, if they're just going to choose to sit back and perhaps retake a site as a team, or if they're going to follow in the Wolves' footsteps and take some early mid-aggression. There's a lot of ways you can play it. I'm curious to see what they will do. It looks like they're just going to be going for that standard 2-1-2 split early on, and standard play, although...
Well, Copenhagen going for the oldest strat in the book. Rush B, boys. Nah, they're actually quite rush it.
Why it's a classic.
That's true. They are actually slowing it down. Might even become a bit of a fake, as I think they're starting to slide maybe towards underpass or make that noise. Try to sell a fake. The old double fake. They're bringing it back in now quietly. Pip, that was in a very good spot. He'll see them. They're playing on contact here. They're exploding out of the B site. Kirby from the truck. Can't get anybody. Rubino and Zeves. There's Nico finally getting his team on the board, but already they're a man down to the bomb about to be planted for the terrace here. Going down. It looks like maybe a plant for the catwalk. It indeed was. Zeves at bench will fall. Zenda still up in the site. You can see one player for Dignitas. I think that's AZ is flanking through those B apartments.
Oh,
now
big
Twist
shot
from the van. He's going to get 2. That's a very important kill. He's the last one up right now. He is obviously very cornered and will fall to Nico, who finds a 3K to win the round.
Nico and MSL hitting such clutch frags right there. And that was another one-on-one that really easily could have slid in that other direction. I had that feeling as Nico was pushing. I was like, oh, he's going to get one tapped. I could just feel it. When you get close range like that, sometimes it's hard to be calm enough to be precise with the USP and just make that tap headshot happen. But ultimately, he did find the frag, so a huge pistol round win from Dignitas. We're going to see a pretty light buy round from the Wolves here, which I'm sure is just going to set them up going for the early rifle buy, just like Dignitas did on their own pistol round in the first half. Yeah,
and we talked about Dignitas' pistol round being okay. Remember, they all died and they planted the bomb. Well, this one was very good, even as best as you can basically get without winning. They planted the bomb. They killed 4 CTs. And, well, on this round, they're obviously more or less full eco as they want to buy in the next. Dignitas, very key. They have lost to FAMAS, which will force a rebuy onto AZ, because rifles are coming here from Copenhagen.
Yeah, that should be fairly easy to replace. Guns getting shuffled around, and there is definitely a FAMAS on the ground for AZ. So they're going to be still into it with the firepower. I hate when a team gets a bomb plan or something like that, and they're setting themselves up for an early buy, and the other team holds on to like an MP9 or a MAC-10 or something like that, and you're like, no, just get the rifle. You know you're going to need it. You know you're going to need it.
Or just use a 5.7 at least.
Yeah, right? Because that gun is just absolutely nuts. Oh. Either way, it's going to be rifles against rifles here. The FAMAS's may hold Team Dignitas back a little bit on the round, but I think they're experienced enough to get it done even with them.
Their utility as a result of some of those FAMAS's, though. So these smoke splashes, able to hold off the terrace a little bit longer will help. And, I mean, the nades at the top of middle through that smoke have been devastating to both of these teams. Even on this round, you know, Zenda going down to half HP just from a grenade. And that makes that FAMAS that much more lethal, right? Now, like 2 bullets to the chest or 1 to the head from the FAMAS or any of the CT rifles, and now you're dead if you're Zeves or Zenda or Twist.
True that. Does a FAMAS dink with a helmet do... oh, yeah, Twist doesn't have a helmet, so...
Oh, well, he would have been
That
dead
puts him in
anyways,
some
yeah.
extreme, yeah, it puts him in
Well,
some
depending on the distance,
extreme
Twist
danger.
might actually survive from one of those guns.
That's true. It's like when you hit a 1 deke from like Goose on a Dust 2 all the way down to Pit, and you do 99 and 1 and you're freaking out. But Yakem gonna be pushing up here with a good flank on Nico. An easy first frag. Now it's gonna be up to MSL in this site. He's pretty much trapped.
Pimp's got his back. Yeah, and there's Pimp gonna bring down Yakem and Rubino. MSL's like,
Yeah, that third
thank
man.
you.
Yeah, KRB came in from Cat and was able to pressure that Terrace that was pushed up through the connector after he killed Nico. And if he was able to slip by right there, maybe cause some chaos in CT and put MSL in between two of the terrorists, not sure which one to look at. He may have been able to squeak that one out, but either way, it was Dignitas setting themselves up early and then just closing out with a good A-hold. So that's exactly what they need to bring themselves back into this game. Even though their economy still not 100% settled play. Yeah, we're going to see Nico rocking just a P250 on the round. Shouldn't be too important for him to have a rifle on the round because this is Nico from the Wolves, but you never want just a pistol.
Oh, AZ getting it all three just like that. Can't bring home the last one with the pistol, so AZ will fall, but he gets a 3K. And Dignitas, like you said, fighting back, not rolling over, doing well here. Having, I think, only the one rifle round survived in the second half. Yeah, that makes 4 in a row for the CTs. Only 2 rounds in the entire match for the terrorist side so far. Could be a very CT-sided affair if Dignitas happen to win out. But another rifle, and this is actually the best round the Wolves have had yet, as they've got the majority of the nades that they're going to want.
Yeah, including 2 Molotovs that they could use to fish some players out of their spots. AZ going to be pushed up in mid, going to be so flashed. Luckily, going to be falling back into some cover, but him and Nico still putting a lot, and Pimp as well, going to be putting a lot of pressure on mid.
Yeah, all 3 of them out here. Now they're starting to fall back. AZ does find a kill onto Zenda. MSL fighting a CT. AZ got his kill from the connector. And MSL, he's given up that sight, but he's still going to find a nice shot on Yakem through the cracks there. He'll peek out and pass that Molotov, get Rubino as well. Everyone surviving for Dignitas. That's an incredibly good round for the CT economy and Dignitas' hopes at making this comeback.
Yeah, and every round for Dignitas has been clean thus far, with the exception of that initial pistol run. That came down to a tight one-on-one, but since then they've been not only winning the rounds, but keeping 3, 4, 5 players alive each time. And it's starting to be reflected in their economy. Nico, the Opera, who's going to be routinely buying the more expensive guns, still sitting on 4.6. So even if the Wolves are able to steal a round away, which may not happen. Whoa, may actually happen.
Wow.
Twist. It's a crazy shot onto Nico with the pistol getting a frag. They are still going to be financially solvent, but what am I watching here? Are the Wolves about to win this round?
This is Counter-Strike. Did you think this was maybe Dota 2 or something?
With some crazy snowballing?
Yeah, Nico, I mean, I understand why he's watching the right side of that smoke, but you also, he probably should understand, based on, you know, the rounds that they've won and the rounds that, obviously, the Wolves have lost, that this should have been an eco round, so I feel like you're almost better off kind of watching the push through the smoke at the end of the catwalk. But that's what happens as a terrorist team. We saw Dignitas do it as well. You just throw that smoke down every single round, so that player mid, you know, pretty much has no idea what to expect since that smoke's there every round. But this could be it. This could be, you know, the force up, as this is what it was. It was a force up, but you're having max bonus, so rifle's probably in the next one regardless. It puts Kirby into a 1-on-2 situation. And they didn't even all have armor, right? Twist didn't buy anything. Rubino did have armor, and he'll find that final kill onto Kirby. Copenhagen finally break that dry spell and get a round on the T side. A third terrorist round for the entire match.
Yeah, the CS gods definitely punishing me for trying to make a declarative statement there and having it thrown back in my face. That is going to be the third round for a terrorist team so far in this game. And the first for Copenhagen Wolves. Man, bad. Copenhagen Wolves in this half. So, see if they can keep it up. As I said, the Dignitas economy is not going to waver there, but that was a huge bonus for the Wolves, spending almost nothing and coming out with a round win. And nearly vaulting themselves into map winning position. I really thought Dignitas was going to be able to win that round. It was going to be continuing their momentum going forward, but it's a really rough one for them to get shut down on.
I've muted my Chrome. I was trying to play the pronunciation of Copenhagen.
Oh, and really rip me?
No, just to admit, you might even be right. I don't know. Or both are acceptable or something like that.
Probably not. I'm probably just
a
total idiot. But AZ and Pimp getting it done early, finding opening frags before Twist gets a trade frag there. Pimp going to be hunting for that kill, or at the very least playing a bit defensively here. making sure he doesn't get killed by Twist. Bomb's going to be cycling around. Seems like towards the A bomb site, towards where Rubino is, and he's just holding steadfast.
Yeah, so 3-on-3 again. Oh, 4 actually. MSL still holding on to life down there at 6 HP, but a couple players are fairly low. I mean, Copenhagen do actually have the HP advantage in this scenario. MSL, though's in a pretty good spot, and if he gets a frag on just 6 HP, almost gets 2 as they line up. They finally see him. They know that the mistake, it was too late to change course. Yakum, now the last one up in a 1v4 at this point with 2 seconds. He can't really win the round, so he's going to go ahead and chill out on the comfy couches in Palace.
Yeah, why not? Hang out a little bit, hold on to that rifle. His team is going to need it going into this round. They're sitting with 2 players above 6K, so a buy could happen here, and just like that, Rubino going to be spending pretty much all of his economy here, dropping an AK for his teammate. I imagine Twisted will do something similar as well, but actually going to be playing a little bit more selfishly here, going for the op that could very well be the difference maker on the round. CEVO's going to be held to that Tech 9. It's not a rifle, but still may as well actually be a rifle. And the CT is just going to be rocking that default 2-on-2 setup, 2-1-2 rather. That's Rubino flashing mid, making sure they're not getting pushed up on.
Yeah, so really only relying on Nico here to try to get him some mid control as the CT side. We saw kind of a different CT side from Copenhagen Wolves. They were very big on that mid control. A lot of people there on the CT side of things early on in the rounds. So let's see what will happen here. Still 5-on-5. Again, you commented on the weapons already and some of the nades. It's a bit lackluster on the Wolves. So as they try to make it in towards B, they're going quiet. Probably going to play on contact, rush it when they get spotted. Kirby doing the same thing with this nade. He's going to throw it when he sees him. Twist, though, that could change the strat. Twist has found that pick from the top of middle. And here it goes.
Looks like they're actually going to be gearing up for a fake elsewhere. While they're going to be pushing.
Oh, wow. Kirby actually connects on Zenda through the spam spot.
Spam?
Yeah.
Oh, man. As I say, I had no idea where a CT was even positioned to see a terrorist, but there was no vision there.
I think that Molotov was planned with it. He throws that Molotov, so it kind of forces you to go back into the kitchen, and then the spam comes through. I don't know if that was
awesome
completely correlated, but it certainly looked that way. So Yakum gets MS out. It's now a 3-on-3. Time is, though, running out, and AZ... Oh, he's going to have to go for the reload. He had to spray an entire clip for that. That lets the bomb go down and maybe gives Twist a chance to show off his stuff with the AWP. He's been spotted at Tetris. Flash is coming over. Twist will do the twist, turn around, and maybe try to hit an op shot. Can he get this guy? Oh, my gosh, he hits Kirby in the legs! But Pimp in the one-on-one, briefly in the one-on-one, is able to win it.
And good awareness by Pimp pushing up at the same time as his teammate, not allowing Twist to get even crazier than he already was there. But still another rifle round, not going the way of the Wolves. And with that, Dignitas is only 5 rounds back. This is certainly a far cry from the 13-2 half that we saw earlier on. This Dignitas team is looking pretty dominant in the rounds that they are winning. I mean, even that what broke down to a one-on-one there in that last round wasn't so much of a close round. It was just Twist losing his mind a little bit. I really think that was one that Dignitas was mostly in control of the entire way. So if they keep it up, they can, I think, bring this game that much closer. But the Wolves were able to win an eco round earlier. I'm not saying that they can win another one right now, which would be pretty awesome. But at the very least, they're showing that they have the chops to win these rounds.
Yeah, it'll be important for them to get one more, try to get that match point, make Dignitas play under a little more pressure. Already, though, in this eco round where I think it's only Yakum that's gone in for some of that armor, they are getting shut down. CEVO's will find one. AZ going to spray down a quick double, and it'll be Yakum in a bit of a cheesy spot here. And he won't even find one. Pimp will shut him down.
Removing the one-and-out players from the rounds are super important. Not even allowing them to get a frag to trade definitely pays dividends later on. And it's pretty cheap to be a terrorist in this game. That's going to allow the Wolves to buy only off a 3-round losing streak after being unable to string together the rounds they need to find some economic stability here. I kind of wish they would go for some more mid-control, similar to how Dignitas was playing their own terrorist side. Slow things down a little bit, force the Dignitas players to peek for frags, and when they do, punish them for it. It seems like we might be seeing a bit of that as a bunch of terrorists are grouped up top mid, making sure they're not getting pushed up on. But Yakum getting some damage.
If Nico
in
got
on Nico.
that jumping op shot, I would have left the server.
Yeah, that would have been pretty crazy. I saw a video of a player at FGB doing 2 jumping op shots from elevator on Dust 2. So frustrating to watch.
I'm a fan of FGB. He follows me on Twitter.
I think that means he's a fan of you as well. But MSL super pushed up into apartments. Is going to catch a frag onto Rubino, perhaps blowing up this A take before it can even start. Yakem, though, still at the top of connector.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. He's going to be heard. They know he's there, and AZ will find the kill on him as he makes his rotation over. Meanwhile, Zeva's trying to work out of that A ramp into a 3-on-5 situation, which you don't really expect to go too well for the Wolves. He's just going to... Zevez is going to throw the bomb at them as he pulls it out. But no, they're going to actually rotate it back through the spawn. Twist is over here. Maybe there's still hope on the round if he can find an opening pick. Oh, uh-oh. MSL pulls out a flash. Nearly went down. As the peak was coming in here from Zenda. That would have been a bit of an awkward situation that really could have handed the round back to the Wolves. But with 10 seconds left, they're grouping up to not go anywhere. They are saving here in the back of Palace.
Yeah, MSL played that absolutely right. I really think the whole round to a T, pushing up to get that initial frag, just cutting off a huge portion of the map, saying, hey, if they're going A, they have to go through this one choke point. I have the only other one locked down, as Yakem wasn't quite pushed all the way up into the connector quite yet at that time. Hung around maybe a little bit longer than he should have, but timed it perfectly with the flash and fell back all the way back to safety, not hanging around just too unnecessarily, not allowing himself to get punished. That's going to be a free rifle for his teammates on this round, and just so much map control that he was able to make up for.
I think maybe the Wolves need to go for a more mid-control. I mean, they were so big on it on the CT side of things, but when it comes to the terrorist side, they're not super big. But here you go. They got the 2-2 split just towards mid. 2 coming from underpass. Unfortunately, that's going to walk you right into the crosshair of AZ, so he'll find a frag. The trade was there from Twist, but then Nico found Zenda. So it's still Dignitas giving themselves a 4-on-3, and you expect them to win the round from this point on, pending some plays here from some of the Wolves members.
Yeah, they're really close round. Besides the eco round that they were able to win was off the back of a pick that Twist was able to pick up with the op on mid. So you'd think it would be beneficial for them just to try to get into a standard op fight. But Pimp ripping 2 players apart right there at Zevez and Rubino, going down the bomb, getting dropped on Cat and putting Twist in a really uncomfortable position here as the last man standing with an op. He just hasn't been able to find these opening picks, and he does catch a glimpse of players not always landing. Oh man, if he went for that, that would have been totally awesome. But either way, these counter-terrorists are really drilling down on him now.
Or are they? He's got a nice 3 kill. He's making a lot of noise and running real quick. MSL had an ample opportunity. Now he will Molotov him.
No,
he tries to jump it. Jack jumps over the candlestick, and you know that candle fell over into a can of gasoline, and it was basically a Molotov. Got a little rough for Jack. Let's just say it that way.
Yeah, that is a good way of summarizing that metaphor.
I don't know what I'm going. Story time with Helium.
Maybe a simile. I don't know if there was a like or as. I don't. You know, who knows.
There was. It was a simile. I'm pretty sure
it was
an extended simile.
There you go. I know my literary phrases. Just like that. Pulling them out.
That's why you're a caster.
My grade schooling. Yeah, my grade schooling coming back and helping me big time here with that, though. The Wolves are going to be taking a pause here, apparently having a slight issue with their TeamSpeak, but actually just not a terrible time to... Well, I mean, if their TeamSpeak is an issue, then they can't speak to each other, but would be a good time to just take a breather, talk it out, figure out what they need to do, because Dignitas has certainly had their number this entire half.
Yeah, TeamSpeak is down. You cannot speak with your team. Kappa.
Nailed it.
All right, let's take a look at some of the players just so far into this match. We can take a look at the rosters here. Those are the halftime stats. Actually, yeah, those are still halftime stats. Again, brought to you by Alpha Draft. But let's look at Dignitas, see how they're getting on with things. Who's been stepping back up? It looks like AZ, who remember ended that half with a 1.111 efficacy, is up to almost 11 right now. MSL topping it, so 12.85 at this point. Those are still the best 2 picks that you would have had from this team for your Alpha Draft fantasy, both MSL and AZ. And then another look at the Copenhagen Wolves here. Putting them on screen. We've got our best man being that of Rubino, which again would have been expected. Zeva's doing a bit better than I guess what the numbers would have projected. And Twist also doing quite well. But again, Rubino probably your pick here for this team. So keep that in mind. And it looks like, guys, we are back into it.
Yeah, I feel like Twist has been fragging super heavily, but they haven't always been impact frags. I feel like we see him as the LMS pretty often, where he'll pick up a 2 or 3K as that last man standing, but not really winning rounds. So that is going to inflate his KD, but still keep his efficacy pretty low. The Wolves going for that classic strat, the Rush B, including some jumping out of window, I'm sure. And that was actually what you exactly were talking about before, the Molotov being thrown deep into the kitchen, and then the spam comes in. It seems like they were totally aware of it, because they didn't even push to the left of that Molotov. But the B take is on right here. Great nade by Kirby. Rubino getting a frag for his trouble as well. Make that 2, 1 for Zendi. So they are out there into the site, 4 on 3 here.
Is Copenhagen going to win their T side on only ecos to close this out? Because that's got to be one of the more depressing statistics if I've ever heard one.
Possibly, but AZ able to catch a frag. MSL finding one as well, but it's going to be Rubino and Twist returning the favor. So AZ, last man standing, silence M4 in hand, full clip, gonna get ripped through that smoke, getting just toyed with by Twist here and eventually killed. So that's 2 round wins in the half for the Wolves, and they're both off of ecos. Has to be really frustrating if you're Dignitas, but a massive sigh of relief for the Wolves there, as they have now pushed this to, at the very least, overtime. Which, you know, I still wouldn't be shocked if we saw, but man, the Wolves are setting themselves up nicely for an all ecos-based win.
I mean, there's some depressing stats out there in the world, like the amount of people starving in the world, the amount of people living under impressive government regimes, but what tops them all is losing 2 eco rounds and perhaps losing the map as a result of it. That would be
agree. It's probably
insane.
The saddest thing happening.
It's the saddest thing I've ever heard. And Dignitas is about to experience it firsthand here. If they do, they might even be willing to donate all their winnings in the next year to charities. Where are the charity esports tournaments at? That's what I want to know. I feel like that'd be really cool to give back.
They should do like celebrity golf tournaments, like 2 pros and 3 pubbers.
Yeah.
You know, everyone pays like $100 to play or something like that. They just run games all day.
That'd be sick.
It would be.
Solving the world's problems through shooting each other on the internet. Pimp is going to find Zevez, so that'll give Dignitas that advantage. AZ gets Twist, and now pretty much securing the round for them. Nico also getting Yakum over there at the A connector. Meanwhile, the fake, totally going to work now that there's the only 2 people alive. Going to try to do what they can over here towards B. Going to get legged, so Rubino will still have another chance at maybe a... Oh, never mind. That grenade is going to seal his fate. Zenda will bring down Kirby. And he's left in a 1 versus 4, and Pimp will take him down. Nice 3K on the round for Pimp.
Yeah, and because Dignitas' economy wasn't all there, picking up that round with 4 players alive, absolutely huge. That's really going to scatter the economy of the Wolves, where once again we're seeing a bunch of players with over 6K, but the rest not quite there. Last time they went for the buy. Doesn't look like... Oh, they also had another player on 5K last time they went for it. Or a player saving the gun, so had about 5K in equipment. So not going to be going for it this round. Willing to play on round 30 for, or maybe not. Maybe they're not willing to play on round 30. They're looking to lock it up on round 29.
Oh, they got it, dude. If they close it out here,
win. If they win this round, this might be a series win for them. We'll just give it to them after 1 map.
I'm gonna have to go pop a Xanax if Copenhagen wins this round.
and really chill out. really relax.
I do not advocate popping drugs when your team loses. Also, if you have a gambling addiction, there's probably a hotline you should call.
Absolutely that. But the A take is on. Nico going to be missing the first shot. Thank God MSL is there to clean things up. That's 2.5 for him so far, as the last main tires are pretty hurt.
And the bomb fell. Someone, and you know, their last wish was to throw the bomb up on top of those stairs.
With that, Dignitas picking up the round win we all believed they could. Or maybe not. I don't know what the crowd is feeling right now. Either way, this game is getting brought down about as close as it could possibly be. Round 30, Dignitas desperately needs a round win here to push this game to overtime. And I think if this game does go to overtime, I think it's all Dignitas. I think they absolutely have this sewed up. They've really hit their stride in the CT side. I kind of had that feeling earlier on. I might have just jinxed them now. I might have jinxed them earlier. I don't really fully know how jinxes work.
But you might be a wizard.
I could be. I'm hitting them with my energies and stuff. But AZ catching a frag, I think that was a purely spam frag, as they're stopping this A-take before it even is starting.
All right, so Dignitas looking very, very strong here on the CT side, although it's not fair to say that the Copenhagen Wolves didn't also look as equally strong on the CT side here. Terrace rounds just not in the cards today for the teams, as, you know, trying to work into A. They've already lost Yakin, they've lost Rubino, and the Wolves are probably heading into overtime against a Dignitas that is looking a little bit re-energized. They finally got some frags. I know it's later in Europe. Maybe they had a late dinner and didn't quite show up to that first half. But like you said, if this goes into OT, you've almost got to completely favor Dignitas. But let's see. It's still Zenda and Zeves with the chance to become a legend. 1 versus 4 to close out Mirage for Zenda.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And with that, I think that... Oh, look at that. He's able to get a frag onto Pimp, so not quite rolling over with 30 seconds and no bomb. It's be a tough one, AZ. For a second, I thought I timed out or something. The players just all stopped at the same time.
I thought the GoTV lagged and he was about to win this. I was like, no way.
Ooh, I'm not sure if we're supposed to talk about that, but...
I'm sick of sweeping it under the rug, right?
Just pretend. We'll fake it till we make it. 15-15, though. Going to be going to overtime. You can always tell as soon as I see that lag, I just instantly hand off the mouse right onto the notebook, jotting down notes. Like, oh, okay, that settles that.
That's when I start updating the overlays. I'm like, oh, GoTV lag, can update the overlays.
Yeah, it's like a nice little heads up.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know. I think we actually, so what happens when it ends and the way that demos shut down, they literally are like, oh, we got all this data, I'll throw it in the garbage can. And then that's what the lag comes from, because it's not shutting down properly. You can... We extend by 30 seconds afterwards, so it kind of delays that little stutter, and sometimes you won't even notice it if a round ends really quick. But I think if we extend it further, there's obviously some cons.
Like by a minute?
Yeah, there might obviously be some cons there, because I don't see why we
bigger
wouldn't
file
have done
sizes?
that already. Or like maybe the plugin gets weird, or maybe the players get really confused because the map hasn't switched in a minute, and they're like, what do we do? And you know, players are startled pretty easily. They're kind of like horses, you know.
Yeah, you can't.
Don't want to give them the jitters.
You can't look them in the eyes. Can't address them directly.
They sprain their ankle. You gotta put them down. It's really sad.
Yeah, Skadoodle broke his ankle skiing over the weekend. Ooh, sorry.
It's like Cloud9 needs a new opper.
And I loved him. I loved him like he was my own pony.
Oh my god. Here we go. Overtime though, round 1. Dignitas versus Copenhagen. Both teams getting, was it 12? It was 13. It was 13 rounds on both of their CT sides. Only 4 terrorist rounds here. So, I mean, looking at that metric, any terrorist round that happens in overtime is going to be worth quite a bit.
Definitely. And this is kind of the slowed down mid approach that I was excited for from the Wolves. And actually AZ getting that frag is going to start to blow that up. And Zevis is close by, looking for a potential trade. I'm not sure if AZ knows he's right there, but a quick pot flash in is going to get him in there. Still going to be punished for it, though. Only removing a quarter of Zevis' life. So still very much in the round are the Wolves.
Oh, Nico going to hit a shot onto Rubino, going for the old crouch peek. Kirby gets twist, and Dignitas continuing to look strong here on the CT side that they did not have to switch away from for the first round of OT. Zenda, oh wow, I thought he was actually going to have that opener, but Nico is there. And that was actually Nico from bench that saves Kirby, who is now brought down through that wall. Zeves with a nice little spray down there, but all for naught as Nico hits his 3rd op shot of the round.
And with all of that overtime money that Dignitas has banked, they're most definitely not going to slow down here. Keeping their opera alive was absolutely huge. That's the really only expensive gun you need to rebuy. And if you're not an opera on a team, it's pretty easy to make 3 comfortable buys on any side of overtime. So they're going to be doing just that. Op up for Dignitas, not so much for the Wolves here. Twist was really effective with that op, but he just was unable to get like big important frags. Oh, MSL in a
He's on the ladder.
On the ladder.
Oh, his first shots were actually way off because he was on the ladder, but then he stepped off of it and it was fine. And now things are looking once again very bad here for the Wolves. It's Twist. He's been pretty good in these 1vx situations. He hasn't converted on too many of them, but he's generally getting some kills in this scenario. So, well, if it wasn't for all the nades, I'd maybe give him a decent chance to kill 2, but he does only find the 1 here.
That was, I feel like, right there, a classic Twist frag and moment right there. Just padding his stats really well. You know, top fragging for his team, almost top fragging for the game, 25 and 18, but just hasn't been there on round-changing frags. He hasn't gotten those frags that really open up the bomb sites, or for the most part, at least, it hasn't been him stepping up for his team. So, with that, they're going to be moving into the last round of this half of overtime. If Dignitas can lock this one up right here, I think that would be really big for them. I really do have a lot of faith in Dignitas being able to battle back and win a terrorist side round. 2, maybe a little more tricky, but I think 1 is totally in the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, although I will say, I'm not going to be completely sold that Copenhagen, now we're like reversing the scenario that we had going into the second half, that they're going to just completely, you know, roll over like a wolf might if you were to rub its belly in the second half of OT. Like, they can probably 3-0 on the CT side as well.
Yeah, it's possible, but I really think
But yeah, I think Dignitas will also close it out. That makes no mistakes from the Wolves in the second half, and that might just not happen.
Yeah, I was pretty confident in Dignitas' ability to compete moving into the second half of the game, and the fact that they were able to not only compete, but to excel and step up at all times when they needed to, I really think shows that when their backs are pressed against the wall here, I mean, they have a lead with 3 potential wins, so not going to be having too much pressure on them, but when they're put in a position where they can just close it out and win, I'm faithful they can do it. Rubino, though.
I mean, they might be able to, they might get this 2 on. Yeah, Rubino gets one. MSL's down to 8. Kirby at a. Okay, well, there you go. And Twist is dead as well. MSL just chilling. Meanwhile, Kirby doing all the heavy lifting over there, which is fine because, you know, he's at the bottom. He's got some lifting to do.
Yeah, and that's actually a really. Definitely shots fired. That's actually a really similar round to how Kirby was able to shut down another close one for Dignitas once they went on that A split. They get control of the A bomb site with a man disadvantage. They're looking around knowing that there could be a CT around any corner. They get a little sloppy. Kirby flanks with a deep cat flank and is able to just shoot players in the back. It's not the first time he's done it. Really successfully setting each other up for frags in those man advantage rounds, particularly in the A bomb site. So good on them for their positioning right there. And moving into round 4 of OT1, I have made this proclamation a bunch of times, but I'm pretty confident Dignitas can lock this one up.
I agree.
I think it's going to come down to that mid control, which they were just doing a little better than the Wolves. They were, I feel like the Wolves, especially on their first OT round, were able to slow things down a ton. They were able to get all their players grouped up in mid, on cat, towards window, connector, and just weren't able to find the frags. They gave themselves every opportunity, and it just wasn't falling their way. I think Dignitas is going to be able to work a similar strategy, just be a little bit more effective with it.
Yeah, and Dignitas obviously had that first half. They kind of maybe had some time, and maybe are even taking this time here in between the OT halves to talk about how they're going to adjust to the playstyle of the Wolves from that CT side and see what Dignitas can do. Dignitas was trying a lot for the heavy, where it seemed like a lot of the times they were taking that mid control and splitting towards B, and you know maybe that got a little bit predictable. Maybe just a solid A take, as you've got all those grenades, all that value with the 10 grand you start off with in this OT format.
It's certainly possible. I know whenever I'm playing Mirage, the first thing I do when I'm playing CT side is I call one of the spots at B. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's significantly easier to hold than the A bomb site. So I'm interested in Dignitas' interest in the B bomb site, I so to speak, I guess. Because I really think it's one of those where it's so easy to get shut down immediately unless you're just way better than the other team. So let's see what they got here going into this first round of the second half of OT.
Well, the mid control can be so hard, and B takes kind of hinge on that a lot of the times. You know, you need good communication, good teamwork, good smokes to take mid control without, you know, losing casualties. Or just sustaining casualties, rather. But here we go over towards the A site already. Zenda did get a kill, but he's gone down. Now Dignitas all over that kill feed on the T side. There were few rounds. This is actually only going to be the 5th terrorist round, and it'll be the final round. It's 19-15 here for Dignitas, beating the Copenhagen Wolves, who were looking invincible through that first half. But later, man, sticking with it, the belief he knew. He's a prophet.
Yeah, you get those feelings I feel like I feel like I have them constantly, and I one thing I hate myself for is that I feel like sometimes I just don't say them, and then once you get to the point where it turns out you would have been right if you had just made a claim, then you think, but like now if I just say it, no one's gonna
No one's gonna
believe that I was. Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad I went in on that one early. I thought it was gonna be tough for Dignitas, but I believed in them to stick it out and be able to battle back and win, and they did just that. I think I was not ready for overtime necessarily, but a win is a win no matter when it gets done. So it was a really exciting first game to watch, but that was still Dignitas's map choice in Mirage, and they really barely squeaked through there. So you'd imagine that the Wolves map pick would only be that much more comfortable for them. So I think this could also be an interesting matchup. I think this one's going to be a little closer from the jump, though.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see such a one-sided half coming here on Overpass, despite it, probably being a more CT-sided map than Mirage even is. Although
Mirage could be brutal.
Mirage certainly has its days when the terrorists seem to have dominant performances on one side and the CTs, of course, on the other. Like today, we got a very CT-sided Mirage, but sometimes you'll have it the other way around, 13-2 with 2 rounds on the CTs, and I don't know, it's hard to predict those. Like you can
matchups make games.
Yeah, exactly. Matchups make games. You can only see so much on paper. You got to watch the game. You got to cast it. That's why we watch Counter-Strike, right? If it was so predictable, who would even care? But Mirage is out of the way. Moving on to Overpass. We're going to take a quick break before we get to it, but I do want to say one thing, guys. If you want to become a part of the CEVO TV team, you can go to CEVO.com/jobs. We're looking for producers, in-game cameramen, broadcast talent, and video editors. Basically, we're trying to fire later, and we need some more replacements.
Someone, please, make me redundant.
That was a joke. We're never going to fire later. Season 8.
I'm like that cute little brother you can't get rid of now.
Exactly.
You already named me, so you can't get rid of me.
But, Mom, I already named the dog. All right, you can keep it.
Exactly. We named it later. It's a super dumb name.
CEVO.com/season 8. Registration for the league, if you want to play competitive CS, is still open. There's 4 free leagues and a ton of premium skill divisions in both North America and Europe. So CEVO.com/season 8. If that's for you, you'll need 5 people. That's how Counter-Strike works. We hope to see you there, and we hope to see you in the next game. We're taking a quick break, and we'll be with you on Overpass for Dignitas versus the Copenhagen Wolves. Stay tuned.